How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Choose Your Own Journey. My name is Michael Weir, and I'm your host. And today's special guest is Alex Zubarev. Alex is a seven-figure affiliate and network marketer. And in this episode, we're going to cover everything from mindset to cryptocurrency. Hope you enjoy. How did you get started in network and affiliate marketing?
Okay, let me recall that 2008. That's when my journey started. I was, I guess, living happily in a corporate job, living paycheck to paycheck. And one day I came across this amazing world of network marketing. Um, I came to this country obviously as an immigrant, and they always told us this is the country of opportunity, but I was never entrepreneurial. My family was never into like business or entrepreneurship at all. So when I came across that, like I lighted up, like wow, this is like the whole new world outside of my corporate world, if you will, living in a box in a cubicle. And I got excited. And long story short, that's when my journey started. Joined many companies after that, but my first company was the breakthrough for me because it opened up my mind that there are other ways to generate income to provide for the family and possibly achieve the time freedom, because in the end of the day it's not just the money, it's the time freedom, that have flexibility that everyone is seeking for, freedom to do whatever the heck you want to do every single day, knowing that you're able to pay your bills and provide for your family. So, anyways, got stuck in that kind of phase, if you will, of breaking through from being employee to being a business owner. Just like if many of your audience knows about Robert Kiyosaki, four quadrants: being an employee, being a business owner, then investor. So, took me a while. I was spinning my wheels for about 4 years, I would say. Had like on and off successes, if you want to call them that, breakthroughs, but nothing consistent. But I never give up. So this is the difference between, I guess, many entrepreneurs that aspire to become entrepreneurs, but most people fail because they quit too soon. I'm one of those individuals that if I commit to something, ah, I don't know, fire, water, whatever I have to go through, I'm gonna make it happen, no matter how hard it's gonna get if I commit to it. So the biggest thing, I guess, for everybody who wants to become entrepreneur and become successful later on, is to commit. You gotta commit, right? That people talk about 4 C's, whatever: consistency, commitment, and two other C's I can't remember, but those are two main things that people need to commit to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, yeah, like I said, was spinning my wheels until and here's the important part, until I kind of stopped doing the comfortable stuff, like trying things. Like many people are like, oh, let me try this system, let me try this making opportunity, or this way of generating income. And the key word is try. They don't really commit. They don't do it. They just try it for a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then they quit because
Right.
there are immediate results. We live in a society of immediate gratification, right? We download everything from Amazon, whatever. We watch Netflix. We want immediate access to things that will give us pleasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people gravitate from pain, well, from away from pain towards pleasure, right? So that's how society conditioned us to become kind of not to have kind of a free will, if you will. We just being told what to do, and that's why the system works, right? Hey, just like Robert Kiyosaki tells you, right? Get good grades in school, get a good job, be good at that job, and you'll be happy, live happily ever after, right? Maybe it worked in the 60s and 70s, 80s maybe, but that world has changed dramatically since then. And most people live paycheck to paycheck. They hate their jobs. 90% of people, I would say. There are exceptions to the rule, obviously. But unfortunately, that's how society, I guess, operates. They want a lot of employees, a lot of obedient employees,
Mm-hmm.
in order for the system to function and pay their taxes, right? So we crazy entrepreneurs, we kind of like step out from the norm, from the comfort zone, and we start doing things that are considered by others as maybe even crazy, uh, abnormal for sure. And when when you start doing those things, people start laugh at you. They doubt you. They kind of like want to be just like like when you. I guess there is a comparison to you put. I think it's frogs, right? You put frogs in a
Mm.
in a aquarium, if you will, and the moment one frog is trying to escape, every other frog will pull it down, right? So that's the same way with humans, unfortunately.
Right.
So that's how my journey started, man. And I'm glad that I never quit because fast forward, been in this for 12 years now. I was fortunate to create this time freedom for myself and my family, and obviously generate a lot of money along the way. And more importantly, help others, kind of like instill that belief in them that they can do it as well. So a lot of people went
Right.
on and became ultra successful beyond like my success, if you want to call it. Like I'm like here, there, or here. They made a lot more success. I'm not saying millions of people, but quite a few people. And that's what it's all about. I think this is the industry where you can really affect positively human race, if you will, human mankind, that you can show them ways to utilize technology, utilize the power of the internet to apply their skill sets, their passions, if you will, towards something and where they can scale it on a bigger scale than even if they live in a small village somewhere, who knows, not necessarily even the United States, in any country.
Mm-hmm.
There are people outside of the United States making crazy money. Like I know one guy that was about to quit, and I told him, don't quit, basically, and this guy is now just crushing it. He lives in Romania somewhere.
Oh yeah.
He has a agency. I don't know. He has so many things going on, So it's
Yeah.
all about belief level, man.
That's half the battle right there. Is just getting outside the mindset of being an employee and realizing that you actually can do something. Like I think a lot of people know that it's a possibility, but aren't even close to committing to looking at it. And then it's even a smaller percentage. It's probably like an 80-20 thing where 80% of people might know that there's possibility, but they're, you know, 20% will check it out. Then you can break that down even another 80-20 that'll
Yeah,
actually
I was gonna, it's more like
commit to it.
97.3.
Mm-hmm. Just
Yeah.
keep just keeps breaking down, and it's a pretty small percentage, but once you do lock into it, it's pretty powerful. Did you have a mentor when you were starting out, or did you kind of
I did
figure?
not have a mentor right away, and that's a very good question because mentorship is so overlooked in our industry, which is kind of crazy. I'll give you an example. Like this guy sent me a message like right before we started, and he was asking, "Is this real?" And the moment I get that, like I kind of get that because I was probably that skeptical person when I was joining my first company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember now. That was such a long time ago, but I kind of get it where they're coming from. But at the same time, I immediately kind of like turn it onto them. I'm like, okay, are doctors real? Are lawyers real? I guess they are. They're making money, right? And then the second question he asked, well, is it going to cost me any money? Well, is it going to cost you any money to become a doctor? It's going to cost you like 12 years in school, I guess, over $200,000 in loans, probably more nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You got to kind of like bring people to the perspective that this is a profession. This is being a direct response marketer or consultant, if you will, or I don't know, like whatever you do online. Like there's so many ways to generate income online. It's a profession. It takes skills. It takes commitment, and you always advance your skill set to the next level every year, right? So absolutely, mentorship is a key. It's kind of like, if I don't want to call it shortcut because it brings that negative
Mm-hmm.
definition to shortcuts, that people always looking for shortcuts and instant gratification. But it's as close as it gets to the shortcut to kind of cut your learning curve, um, cut your learning time, and save yourself a lot of money as well, and frustration and energy along the way. Because first 4 years I was spinning my wheels until I realized I listened to people that were more successful, and they were like basically telling me, Alex, you got to go to events, you got to hang out with us, you got to, meet us, you got to like see that it's real. You're going to have this mind shift. And that's exactly what happened. One day I had the opportunity to go to an event, and I had all the excuses in the world not to go, but I committed to go. So one of the excuses was it was my birthday coming up on that weekend. My family did not support my new initiatives, if you will. My wife did not support it, right? She did not understand it. And second thing was I was afraid of flying. This was like after 9/11. Everybody was freaking out of flying, and I had this fear of flying as well. So those were my biggest excuses, but I said, screw it, I'm going to go because I'm committed to do it. And I jumped into the car and I drove from New York to Atlanta, I don't know, 20 hours, whatever it was. And I had my breakthrough at that event. 3-day event completely changed me. I was making like a little money here and there, maybe, I don't know, $1,000 here, $500, $200 commission there, you know what I mean? Nothing consistent. And when I came back to New York, my wife, Anna, she told me, like, I don't recognize you. You sound different. You kind of think different. Like you kind of like a different person. Because back then, like I was always kind of like introverted. I would never talk to other people. I would get shy or whatever, like uncomfortable talking to other people. You know what I mean? So yeah, events absolutely is probably the biggest thing anyone can do. I don't know if they can do it during this crazy new world that we live in, but there are virtual events, there are paid masterminds people can attend that will allow them to save a lot of time. Like, do you want to spin your wheels for 4 years, or maybe you can want to break through within like 12 months, which is very realistic. You can do it in 6 months if you really commit to it. The mastery takes, what do they say, 10,000 hours, right? And that's basically what it took me, because I was working my butt off. Like first 4 years, I was trying so many different things. I committed to make it happen.
Right.
And if you break it down, it's exactly like 10,000 hours, because if you do it 7 days a week, even on the weekends, right? You always think about it. Like, I want to become skilled. I want to like make money online. And you do it for, I don't know, like I think about it at my job. I think about it during the lunch break. I think about it while I commute to work. So if you add all those hours, that's like 10,000, 10 hours a day, maybe 12 hours a day, because I work on my laptop when I get home after 9 p.m. My kid's in bed from 9 p.m. till like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. every single day. I calculated it's approximately 10,000 hours.
Right.
It's crazy, right? But then again, human mind is like, I told myself it will take me 10,000 hours. But what if I told myself it would take me 2,000 hours or 1,000 hours? You know what I mean? Like, so you don't want to sabotage your success, but at the same time, you don't want to like overextend it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Because human mind is like always like, there's a conscious mind and there's a subconscious mind, right? So to make a parallel, I guess, the way I see it, it's like a computer, right? If you will. In a computer, you have firmware and you have a software, right? So firmware, it's what's like runs all the basic functions of the computer, communicating with the printer, USB interface, camera, with the internet, whatever, with memory, hard drive, whatever. Same thing in a human, right? So basic functions, you don't think how your heart beats, it just does. Well, what's responsible for it is your firmware. Your breathing, like you do it automatically, you don't think about it. So that's your subconscious mind, right? Or is it too deep? Like,
no, that's perfect,
right? Yeah. So basically, so you have an opportunity to reprogram your software that runs on top of your firmware, right? But at the same time, if you are able to get deeper and kind of start kind of like questioning the beliefs that we've been kind of ingrained from society, by family, by friends, by job, by coworkers, by the media. God forbid you watch the media nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You get to a point where you can actually change the way you think, the way you act, the way you make decisions. Because one thing is knowing stuff and accumulating all that knowledge. The other thing is applying all that knowledge and getting results with it and tweaking things. Because that's another problem. Like first 4 years, I got stuck in the student mode. I was buying
Mm-hmm.
courses nonstop. I was going through different programs, getting ready to be ready. That's the biggest. So mentorship is huge because like I had virtual mentors. I don't have like direct mentors. Later on, like now I'm paying for mentorship. Like I can pay somebody 12 grand for one day. Why? Because he's super like good with Facebook ads, for example. And he's been doing it for like 20 years. I don't have 20 years to spend on Facebook ads to get to his level, or spend, I don't know how many millions he spent tweaking ads and testing ads. But I can kind of get that shortcut by paying for his expertise and getting like to the good stuff, if you will, because he already tried so many different things. He will give me a template. He will give me like kind of like know-how, if you will, what I need to pay attention to when it comes to, for example, this is just an example, but this comes with anything in life, right? So that's why you pay for expertise, for mentorship, when for super advanced stuff like that. But again, I had virtual mentors, so I bought those products. I went through them. Like one of my first mentors was Mike Dillard. I don't know if you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Magnetic sponsoring. He learned from Dan Kennedy, direct response marketing, copywriting, power of words, how to create ads that generate results. So all that stuff helped me along the way to get to where I am. I don't regret a single thing that I did, that I purchased. Every single bits of information that I got, even if I bought a course for let's say $2,000, I only got like 5% of it. But if I applied it and got some kind of results, it's already paid for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in our industry, people keep buying products and courses that never open them. And I'm guilty of that as well. I'm a human being. I'm not a computer. I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not, somebody who can like read 500 pages every single day, right? But I try my best as much as I can. Like I said, commitment is the key, and that's how you get better.
Right. Yeah, you have to look at it as investing in your career, investing in yourself. You can't expect, like, I don't know if people have the wrong idea that you can just hop on with a company and then just have instant success right out of the gates. Like, I think some people actually think that, but there's so much background to it that you just have to. It's just kind of a cumulative effect, really. You just need
the responsibility as well, because a lot of people say like, "Oh, this program didn't work for me." I'm like, "Did you work for this program?" And they usually don't reply at that point. So that tells me they have a lottery mentality. They think everything is a lottery. It's a scratch-off ticket, like it's instant gratification. All I have to do is just buy this product. You know what I mean? And that's the secret to success. So unfortunately, that's how society programmed people. And I'm not saying everybody, but majority of people.
So today's date here is November 20th. Where we are, things are slowly going back into lockdown. Well, not so slow. It's picking up, and it's not looking too good for the. I don't know. It's hard to say for how long.
Where are you in the world? Where are you, Michael?
We're in Ontario, so we're just outside of London, Ontario, which is halfway between Detroit and Toronto.
Yeah, totally. I mean, same thing's happening in New York, obviously, and that has been kind of predicted. I think I posted about it like back in the summer that it was coming, and everybody was laughing. But now here we are. We're going through that process.
Right.
So, like I said, we gotta focus like a laser. I mean, you got all the time in the world. People have internet, thanks God, at least now. So take that opportunity instead of watching Netflix, which I started watching. I didn't watch. I just sign up. Don't tell anybody. I just sign up for Netflix. Don't tell my wife. I just paid for Netflix, and I always make fun of Netflix. But I'm like, I wanted to see the Hunter Games, right? So it was only available on Netflix. So naturally, I sign up. But anyways, I don't watch it instead of working. I
Hmm.
I watch it after I'm done working. So I wake up, and this is very important. Like having that routine, having that daily routine, just like you in the office, but you don't have a boss. Nobody's going to tell you what to do, but you got to keep yourself accountable for daily income producing activities without being distracted by a million other things, especially when you're working from home. You got kids, family, you know, spouse, all those other responsibilities, but you got to be able to create that environment where you cannot be bothered, you cannot be distracted for a period of time. Like it could be like 2 hours in the morning, it could be like another 2 hours at night, it could be like 2 hours after lunch. But you gotta be consistent with that, just like you in the office.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a morning guy, so I'll be up at 4:30 most mornings. Gives me that 2 to 3 hours before anyone else in the house gets up. And just this is the most productive time. I'll have to shut it down early at night just to make the 4:30 in the morning, but
Yeah.
it's worth that sacrifice because you're fresh in the morning, and that's what works for me. Some people work late, but
Two kinds of people. So some people
yep.
are more productive in the morning, some people more productive, they get the creativity juices at night.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of like both, but usually like I kind of procrastinate in the morning. I wake up, have my coffee, uh, I'll watch a couple of silly videos on TikTok, like to get some ideas flowing. Like I will check the newsfeed, like just quick, like 5 minutes. What happened? Like I check the stock quotes, I'll check the Bitcoin price. Uh, it would take me like, so I would say probably would take me like an hour to get to a point where I'm at my computer sending emails and start doing stuff. You know,
Hmm.
but yeah, everybody's different, but you gotta get to a point where you're doing this consistently every single day. You can't just take breaks, especially in the beginning. You gotta get to that momentum, build that foundation, uh, like get to a point where you do it semi-automatically, if you will. You know,
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
but 80-20 rule is very important as well. So like 80% of the time you should be producing, creating content, distributing that content, but 20% you got to learn stuff as well. So 80-20 rule applies to a lot of aspects of life and business.
Yeah, it really does. If you had some suggestions or advice for somebody that's not really invested in online marketing yet, or just they want to protect their income, what would your suggestion be for protecting their income and possibly growing it if they're just starting out? Like
Well, I wish there was a such a guaranteed protection, if
hmm.
you will, where you can just press a couple of buttons. Oh, my income is protected. I don't have to worry about it. Fortunately, it's life. Nothing is guaranteed. Things are changing at such a crazy pace. It's not even funny. So people that are especially like I guess my generation or older generation, where things were like semi-normal, like everybody kind of like could buy a house, I guess, was a yearly salary, like back in like 60s or 70s. Like if you made like I don't know what the prices were, like maybe 30,000, and you could afford to pay off the house in a few years. That
Hmm.
world does not exist anymore. So how do you protect your income? You
Well, yeah, you
gotta pay
can't.
attention. You gotta pay attention to the trends. So we're shifting from industrial age into information age. Money is going through the transformation, financial reset. So obviously, crypto is going to be big or huge, the way you want to call it, where you see industrial money, institution money flowing into crypto space, for example. Precious metals depends who is the expert. If you ask, like for example, what's his name, Maloney, Mike Maloney, he's big on gold and silver,
Hmm.
right? Everybody has their own favorite pet, if you will. Some people like cats, some people like dogs, right? So some people always gonna say, "Oh, crypto sucks. You gotta invest in silver and gold." But crypto people would say, like, "No, gold is old money. Like, there's always finding more gold. There's like satellite that has so much gold that's coming towards Earth. Not the satellite, the asteroid, right?
Right. Yeah.
and but Bitcoin is only 21 million coins. They can never produce more, so there's scarcity built in. That's why, like Citigroup is saying, Bitcoin is going to be over $318,000 by the end of 2021. That's what they said officially. Now, I'm a numbers guy. I crunch numbers all the time. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, because if the money starts flowing from, I don't know, from traditional markets into crypto space is still a baby, believe it or not. It's less than $1 trillion. You got like
Mhm.
7 or $40 trillion just in gold. How much money
Yeah.
is in real estate? How much money is in derivatives and all the other stuff? Bonds market, right? So it's still a baby.
Has a lot of potential then.
Huge potential. I think, like, I listen to crypto analysts every single day. This is like the time before I get ready, if you will, to
Mhm.
catch up on the news. And they kind of talk about like four seasons. So right now we're in spring, not even summer. So if you have that FOMO, fear of missing out, even if you look at like right now, as of today's recording, it's 18,000, right?
Mhm.
Almost at the historical high of 2017, which was $20,000. It's still not too late. It might pull back a little bit, it might correct a little bit, but it's still, we're in an early stage. Because, like, I would say 95% of experts say it's going to be over six figures. Whether it's going to happen next year or 2 years later, if you're a long-term investor, then it shouldn't matter, right? Again,
Mhm.
you got to make a decision for yourself. I'm not a financial expert by any means. This is just an opinion. Take it as it is. But I think it makes sense to allocate certain part of your portfolio towards that. Um, but precious metals as well. Why not? You know what I mean? You,
Yeah.
they can always print more paper money, but they cannot print, as much gold as much as they can print dollars. Now we're shifting to digital dollar, digital yuan, digital ruble, digital whatever you want to call it. It's a financial, change. Huge, like biggest change in our history, in my lifetime for sure.
Mhm.
Um, so we got to be smart. Like I always say, like I always take like bits and pieces from different experts, and I try to analyze, come up with my own decision.
Yeah. What do you think's driven the spike lately in Bitcoin?
It's definitely institutional money. If
Is
you
it?
if you
Yeah.
check the news, you'll see like lots of big guys are coming on board. Allocate one billionaire, like just the other day, put 10% of his portfolio into Bitcoin from stocks,
Right.
because they say stock market is a bubble. It's gonna pop one day. It's
Mhm.
coming. When, I don't know. But it's like 30,000 Dow Jones or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
It's bound to, something will happen. So
Well, thank you, Alex, for joining us, and we'll chat soon and keep in touch.
absolutely, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.